The CEO's voice sliced through the bustling office like a blade. "You're fired, Elena," he barked, his face a mask of frustration. "Late every single day? Unacceptable." Elena Carter, a soft-spoken receptionist in her late 20s, stood frozen, her hands trembling as she clutched her worn-out purse. Her dark eyes glistened with unshed tears, but she didn't speak. The entire office went silent, colleagues peering over cubicles, their whispers like static in the air. Welcome to Story Lovers, where heartfelt stories unfold. Hit like and subscribe for more tales that tug at your heart. Elena worked at Pinnacle Solutions, a sleek tech firm in Seattle, where glass walls and polished ambition defined the culture. She'd been there 6 months, always quiet, always diligent, except for her tardiness. Every morning she'd rush in 10-15, sometimes 20 minutes late, her hair slightly disheveled, her apologies soft but sincere. Her boss, Michael Thornton, a 40-year-old tech mogul with a reputation for precision, had had enough. "You're replaceable," he said that morning, pointing to the door. "Pack your things." Elena's lips parted, but no words came. She nodded, her shoulders sagging, and shuffled to her desk. The office buzzed with murmurs, some sympathetic, others indifferent. As she packed her few belongings, a chipped coffee mug, a photo of her smiling with an older woman, her phone buzzed. She glanced around, ensuring no one was near, and answered in a hushed tone. "Mom, I'm okay. I'll figure it out. Just please don't skip your treatment today. I'll find a way." Her voice cracked, barely audible, but Michael, passing by on his way to a meeting, froze mid-step. "Treatment?" He shook his head, dismissing the pang in his chest, and walked on. Rules were rules. By noon, Elena was gone, her desk empty, her absence a quiet void. Michael returned to his corner office, its floor-to-ceiling windows framing the city skyline. He tried to focus on emails, but her whispered words clung to him like damp air. Treatment. The word nagged, unyielding. He buzzed his assistant. "Get me Elena Carter's file." Minutes later, he scanned her records. No disciplinary issues, glowing performance reviews, except for the tardiness. He sighed, rubbing his temples. Why didn't she explain herself? That evening, in her cramped apartment, Elena sat cross-legged on the floor, scrolling job listings on a borrowed laptop. Her phone lit up with a text from her mom. "Don't worry about me, sweetheart. You've done enough." Elena's eyes burned. Her mother, Diane, had been diagnosed with leukemia a year ago. The treatments were expensive, and Elena's job at Pinnacle had been her lifeline. Decent pay, health benefits, a chance to keep her mom alive. But her mom's appointments were early, across town, and public transit was unreliable. Every morning, Elena rode 2 buses to get Diane to the clinic, then raced to work, always late. She'd never told anyone at the office. Pride, fear, or maybe just exhaustion kept her silent. The next day, the office felt different. Michael noticed the reception desk, now manned by a temp, lacked Elena's warmth. Clients commented on it too. "Where's the nice girl with the smile?" one asked. Michael brushed it off, but unease gnawed at him. At lunch, he overheard 2 employees gossiping in the break room. Elena was late because she was taking her sick mom to chemo, one said. Heard it from Sarah in HR. Michael's fork froze halfway to his mouth. Chemo? He stood abruptly, leaving his meal untouched, and headed to HR. Sarah confirmed it. Elena never mentioned it. But her emergency contact, her mom, called once when Elena forgot her phone. She mentioned the treatments. I assumed Elena didn't want pity. Michael's jaw tightened. He'd fired her without asking, without knowing. He returned to his office, replaying her whispered call. "I'll find a way." Guilt twisted in his gut, sharp and unfamiliar. He wasn't heartless, just busy, driven, focused on results. But this felt wrong. He called his CFO Rachel, a sharp woman in her 50s who'd been with him since the company's start. "I fired Elena Carter yesterday. I think I made a mistake." Rachel raised an eyebrow. "You? Admitting a mistake? This is new." She leaned back, studying him. "What's going on, Mike?" He told her about the call, the gossip, the guilt. Rachel sighed. "You're not wrong to enforce rules, but you didn't ask why. People like Elena don't just screw up for no reason. Find her. Fix it." Michael tracked down Elena's address through HR, against protocol, but he didn't care. That evening, he drove to her neighborhood, a rundown area far from the city's gleam. Her apartment building was crumbling, the hallway dim and smelling of mildew. He knocked, heart pounding. Elena opened the door, her eyes widening. "Mr. Thornton? What are you doing here?" Her voice was wary, her face pale with exhaustion. "Can we talk?" he asked. Inside, the apartment was sparse. A sagging couch, a small TV, a stack of medical bills on a rickety table. Michael sat awkwardly, his tailored suit out of place. "Why didn't you tell me about your mom?" he asked, voice softer than he intended. Elena's gaze dropped. I didn't want special treatment. I thought I could manage. She paused, her voice breaking. I couldn't let her down. Michael leaned forward. You should have told me. I wouldn't have fired you. Elena's eyes flashed. Would it have mattered? You made it clear I was replaceable. Her words stung and Michael flinched. He wasn't used to being challenged, but she wasn't wrong. I'm sorry, he said, the words foreign on his tongue. I want you to come back. Same position, same pay. And we'll adjust your schedule for your mom's appointments. Elena blinked, stunned. Why? Why now? Michael hesitated, then admitted. Because I overheard your call, and I was wrong not to ask questions. Elena's expression softened, but doubt lingered. I appreciate it, but I can't just trust it'll be okay. Michael nodded, expecting resistance. Fair, but let me do more. The company has a medical assistance program, unused mostly. It can cover your mom's treatments. No strings. Elena's breath caught. You're serious? He nodded. I am. The next morning, Elena returned to Pinnacle, her head high despite the curious stares. Michael met her at the reception desk, handing her a new contract with a flexible schedule and a note about the medical program. Welcome back, he said, a rare smile breaking through. But the story didn't end there. Days later, Rachel pulled Michael aside. You did good, but there's something you should know. Elena's not the only one struggling. Others are too scared to speak up. Michael frowned. Like who? Rachel handed him a list. Names of employees with quiet burdens. A single dad working 2 jobs. A developer caring for an autistic child. A custodian with mounting debt. Michael stared at the list, a new weight settling in his chest. He'd built a company on efficiency, but at what cost? That afternoon, he called an all-staff meeting. The room buzzed with nervous energy as he stood at the podium. I made a mistake, he began, his voice steady. I forgot that you're not just employees, you're people. Starting today, we're launching a support program. Medical, financial, whatever you need. No one should feel alone here. The room was silent, then erupted in applause. Elena, standing at the back, wiped her eyes. After the meeting, she approached Michael. Thank you, she said softly. Not just for me, but for everyone. He shook his head. No, thank you. You reminded me what matters. Their eyes met, a quiet understanding passing between them. Elena wasn't just a receptionist anymore. She was a catalyst. Weeks later, Pinnacle buzzed with a new energy. Employees shared stories, leaned on each other, felt seen. Elena's mom, Diane, started responding to treatment, her smile returning in photos Elena pinned to her desk. Michael, once distant, began walking the floors, asking questions, listening. One day he stopped by Elena's desk. Your mom doing okay? He asked. Elena smiled, brighter than ever. She's fighting. And so am I, he chuckled. Good. Keep fighting. The company's culture shifted, not overnight, but steadily. Productivity rose, not because of rules, but because people felt valued. Elena, once invisible, became a quiet leader, her honesty inspiring others to speak up. At a company dinner, Michael raised a glass. To family, he said, looking at Elena. To trust. The room cheered, and Elena, for the first time, felt like she belonged. So, friends, that's today's story. How did it move you? Share in the comments, and if you stayed until the end, type complete to show your support. Keep watching for more stories that remind us, humanity always wins.